Alright then guys, what is up? I'm AsgardsChamp. Welcome to episode 29 of my playthrough for Total War 3 Kingdoms. Just before we go any further, links down in the description below to my social media, Instagram and Twitter. If you want to give me a follow over there, that's greatly appreciated. And let's have a little recap then as to what happened by the end of the last episode. We kind of pushed up into this section of South South's land, and he's kind of pushed just south of it here. So got a little bit of a weird joining of land going on here, but it's fine. We're going to try and deal with it as best we can. Now, over here in the west, we have Lo Jun, who I think we defeated him in battle at the end of the last episode, and he's retreating, so we're probably going to give chase to him, although I think there's another army of the Duchy of Song, I think it is. Yeah, Duchy of Song, who we're at war with. I think they've got an army lurking about here somewhere, so I need to be a little bit careful. At the same time, I don't want to let this army replenish too much before we can get back over to them. As well as that, we've got this army here which we recruited at the end of the last episode, and they're replenishing nicely. And then if we look over to the eastern side, Cao Cao's amassing quite a lot of forces over here, and I've got Qingpu and Zhang Hong kind of grouped up here by this city here, Hefei, in Lujiang. So I've got a bit of a conundrum here in terms of what I do with these guys. I don't want to let them get overwhelmed. If all of these armies here group up together, they probably could overwhelm me quite easily. I'm pretty sure they've got more armies over this side as well, so I do need to be careful. If, however, they manage to kind of separate themselves, then I can pick them off one by one or in smaller numbers, and that might be easy for me. So I need to just watch out for what they do and take any opportunities as they come, in order to take these guys out as and when I can, avoiding letting them use their garrisons for reinforcements or other armies and that kind of thing. It's just going to be something we have to keep an eye on. The other option is, so with this army here, so the general is Zhang Shengju. My original plan was to send her north against either Duchy of Song or Cao Cao. It kind of caused a bit of trouble, in his backline here. It does look like there's quite a lot of distance between here to here, though, so it might take them a little while to do it. But they could swing around this way potentially and end up on the eastern front to help these guys out, but I don't know if that'll take them too long. So it's a bit of a decision as to what I do with these when they're fully replenished on the next turn. Do I send them up here to take settlements and apply kind of economic pressure to Cao Cao, or do I send them straight down here to help out Qingpu and Zhang Hong? I'm not sure yet. I need to kind of make that decision. I think sending them over to help out is probably the smarter move, given that they can quite easily get overwhelmed with just two armies here. I don't really have the funds to raise a new army just yet. Maybe a small one, but I have another plan for that, because also what happened was Shiji was vassalized by Duchy of Song, who I'm at war with. Now, Shiji's not at war with me just yet, I don't think, but they could be very soon if they get called into the war by the Duchy of Song. They won't have much choice about it. They will have to go to war with me. Now, I've got Zhu Fu down here, who potentially will help out against them for me, but I'm pretty much undefended over this side. So what I was thinking with this last little bit of money that I have, raising an army down here in the south. So I might actually do that shortly. Now I think as well we're at the start of a turn rather than the end of a turn, as we normally are at the beginning of this episode. So let's see what we want to do now. I'm not too sure I want to give chase just yet with these guys. They're not fully replenished, and I need to watch out for the army that's kind of up this way. So as painful as it is, I might have to let him retreat to Pingyu here in Runan, and let them replenish, while I kind of decide or scout out to see if there was another army up here. I'm sure there was, if I remember right from the last episode. So I think I'm going to move these guys up into friendly territory so that they can replenish. I'll take Huang Gai. Yeah, he was on a marching stance. Let's get him on a normal stance. Let them both replenish for maybe a turn or two, and then we'll move them north, potentially. We do need to watch out for this army, though, because I can't leave this area just completely undefended. So we need to keep them in sights as well. We'll see. We'll see what happens, and where the Duchy of Song's armies are as well. So that's those guys. I'm going to leave Zhang Shengju there to replenish for one more turn. I think one more turn we'll see them all fully replenished. And with these guys as well, I am going to leave them where they are. I don't want to move them just yet. I'm going to let Cao Cao make one more move next turn and see what he does, and then we'll decide. It might even be a case of having to sacrifice this settlement as well and fall back to Runan here, so that we're a bit more close together, so we can help each other out. That's another option. But yeah, South South's got a lot of armies. I need to be very careful with what I do. I've definitely, in the early game, not played this right. Could have been a bit more efficient and not let him get so big so quick while I was messing about. But anyway, that's by the by. Now, one last thing to mention before we end the turn here. Zhufu is sending an army up north, seemingly to help me out, I would imagine, which is good. It's a problem if Shiji goes to war with me, because then I could have done with that army being down south. But, you know, there you go. This is what it is. That's fine. Now let's just check on my armies. So yeah, these guys are all staying put, and these guys have moved, so that's fine. I don't think we need to do anything else. Now, actually, I will raise the army that I mentioned down in the south. I want to keep them... Well, Zhufu's going to kind of cover this area here, hopefully defend. So we need to cover this area here. This one's region capital, Bushan. So let's raise an army here. Now, I want to force... Ideally, we want to take someone who's just got a decent force to begin with. Someone like Xiao Shu here. Now, that will eat up most of my income, which isn't great, but I think if all goes to plan anyway, we should be taking more settlements down the line, which will help us boost our economy. Also, we can start spending a bit of money into our infrastructure and getting money from, you know, the buildings that we have. So let's get her in and pop her in the settlement, and we're just going to leave her there for defence. Now, Bushan here, I'm sure, has a garrison as well. I don't know how good it is or not. It's pretty terrible, so at least there'll be some defence here now. But yeah, we'll see. So this is just an appointment for Xiao Yu there. Cool. I think that's it for this turn then. So we'll end the turn there. Actually, that unassigned administrator position, so we've got one more. I wonder if it's worth us... I can actually get a Prime Minister now as well. I'm going to spend just 5 minutes having a look over this. I have a little bit of money. Hopefully putting in another administrator might actually boost my income a little bit. So leave this with me for 2 minutes and I'll be back with you. Alright then, so what I've decided is I'm going to put Sun Yu. And now this was largely because he was one of the only characters I had available to do this with. But with him being level 1, he's happy to take an administrator position. Even though he is part of the family, I guess. I think he is anyway, I'm sure that's our youngest sibling. But yeah, if I put him in ruling, he boosts income by 15%, I think it was, from all sources. And he will cost a little bit more in terms of his upkeep, but hopefully it should balance each other out and we should see an increase in our income by popping him in here. It also gives us access to one more army. Not that we can afford to do that just yet, but, you know, down the line at some point that could become useful. So let's confirm that. And alright, we're seeing a very minor increase in our income. But as we kind of build up the infrastructure in Wuling, that'll increase more and more, having an administrator there, so that's good. We do also have Prime Minister, although I don't have anyone available just yet to put in there. One thing I need to check, and I'm sure we can do it because we've done it like here and here, is having characters that are employed as a general in an army. Like these ones are in garrisons, generals in garrisons, because they're administrators of those particular factions, but I think if we have a Prime Minister, we can still have him out in it as a general, which would free up some other people to become Prime Minister, for example. But anyway, that's a decision for another time. We don't really have the... Actually, let's just have a look at what we get with this. Does it tell us? For example, if I put Huang Gai in this position, salary remains the same. He gets a bit more satisfaction. He gets less deployment cost. There's not actually very much in the way of benefits to the entire faction, I don't think, from this. Maybe a little bit, like faction-wide construction cost decreases with public relations with all factions if we put Zhang Hong in. That might not be a bad idea, but he doesn't get on with Sun Quan, so that might not be good either. Anyway, I'm going to leave that one for now, and we'll come back to it as and when it becomes necessary. Anyway, a bit of a long first turn there, but let's end it there and see what Cao Cao does, and the Duchy of Song, actually. Alright then, so faction destroyed, Zhang Yang, not sure who that was, but they're gone now. We have wars declared against the Duchy of Shuhan. Cool. Living in harmony, so another event here. So it's often the nature of men that they argue. Some, however, argue more than others. So obstinate are they in their beliefs. Their stubbornness can often limit friendship, but not so in the case of two of your generals. They form a bond, even in spite of their hot-headed self-belief. So this is between Huang Gai and Sun Ren. Cool. That's all good. Yeah, so let's just quickly check on these things. Faction destroyed, just seen that. Ambushes. That's up in the north, that's fine. I'm going to talk about that in a second. I've seen that one. Buildings, we've gained a tea house, which has knocked up our income a little bit, which is good. We need to start looking at investing more as well. And we've just seen that event. So a couple of things. We'll start with Cao Cao over on the east. He has actually separated one of his armies. Now, looking at this army, okay, he's actually got really strong troops here. He's got a few yellow dragons, strong cav, armoured archers, mounted archers as well, and one of these juggernauts, which are pretty deadly if they get in range. So that's going to be a tricky one to fight against, but saying that, I've got two of my armies here. I don't think he'll be assisted by anyone. He has put himself in a fort, which actually might make things easy for me, given that he's got this juggernaut. It's not really going to be useful, because he'll end up killing a lot of his own men, maybe. But we do have to be careful of that. It might be worth me kind of using my archers to take that out first of all. We'll see anyway when it comes to it. But yeah, I think with these two armies here now, we can attack him quite comfortably on his own. And should be able to win, hopefully, with 2 stacks versus 1. The rest of Cao Cao's forces, I'm not sure. He moved some back up this way. I think I saw someone move down here to the south. They might be hiding in trees, maybe. Other than that, he's garrisoning these 2 settlements here. So, might be possible that we can get ourselves out of this little sticky situation without the help of this army here. It's a bit of a gamble either way, though, I think. And what I'm thinking is I might ask if Zhufu take this settlement here. Or I just let him kind of do his own thing, I'm not sure. I might just let him do his own thing. It's just that this settlement then becomes a bit of a pain for me to move back and sort of collect. The other option is I ask Yan Bahu to do that. In fact, let's do that instead. I'd rather he have it. Go take that settlement, please. Problem is they take a few turns usually to reply, but anyway, it's fine. It just adds a bit more pressure to Cao Cao in terms of economy if we do that, so we'll see. Okay, over here in the sort of northwest, the Duchy of Song, they did bring an army down. Can we see what he's got? Alright, so relatively, I guess, average troops. He does have sort of medium armoured G militia, or G infantry. Warriors of Yi. So again, probably won't be a particularly easy fight, but with, again, 2 stacks we should be fine, and that should then free up Shangzhou to move up to the north, which would take, what, 2 turns to do that? So let's actually just move her along the path this way for now. We are fully replenished, so let's keep them going. We'll take this settlement, and we'll move them around this way, as I said, to try and help out these guys. If these guys can last long enough and pick their fights wisely, they should be able to last until this general Zhang Shengzhu gets around. But we'll see. We'll see what happens. If we can kind of like free up this area first before moving north, it's probably going to be beneficial for myself and our ally as well. Yeah, okay. So, which battle to do first then, I guess? Let's just check these guys are actually within range. Here they are. So, let's pop some Ren over here. And then, with Hongai, let's attack. And he doesn't want to fight. Okay. Well, I don't think we'll be able to give chase this turn. So, let's just move these guys up together. He could potentially, if he can do a night attack, which I would assume most generals right now can, he could probably attack either one of these guys, you know, on his own, without me being able to reinforce. Not sure if there's a counter to that, actually. Don't know. Either way, I think we're fine. We should, a one-on-one fight against these guys should be okay, I would imagine. It's this army here that might be a bit of a problem if you have to fight them one-on-one, because they've got quite strong troops. But let's set this one up as well. Who do we want to actually attack with initially? Maybe Zhang Hong. He's got quite a lot of cav, which might be good for us. Actually, Chen Pu does as well. I'll shot cav as well. We're going to be attacking a fort, so we need archers. We have archers in both of these armies. Yep. Not so many here. Yeah, let's attack with Chengpu's army, and we'll reinforce with Zhang Hong. So let's move them up. And yeah, he definitely doesn't get reinforced by anyone behind him, so we should be good to go. Okay, he's run. Now, if he's going to run back... Yeah, if I attack him now, he's getting the backing of these armies here. I think this is too strong of a force for me to initiate a night battle against them with any one of these armies. I don't think we'll have what it takes to take them down. So I will fall back Chengpu, I think, actually. Yeah, I'll fall back Chengpu, and then these guys can kind of help each other out again. Might just move him a bit closer if I can. Just towards the city here, just because it'd be good to get the garrison as well, to help out in any fight. If it comes to that anyway. You see, the next turn they could quite easily group up and attack me, so need to be ready for it. This potentially changes plans with what I do with this army here. I probably should have actually tested whether he would fight me first before moving this army, but it's fine. It's fine, both of them actually. We are kind of pushing them back though, I guess, so it should be okay. Alright, we've got a little bit of money and we do have a bit of income as well, so I'm actually going to just have a quick look through where we can increase funds from. Let's have a look. This doesn't actually increase anything but prestige if we upgrade it. Same with this one. So we get a little bit more income from industry if we upgrade this government provincial workshop. Costs us about half of what we've got in the bank, 7 turns, that's fine, I think we just go for it. Any bit of income that we can get is going to be beneficial. I still don't know the economy system in and out of this game yet. It's definitely something I need to read up on before my next playthrough of it, because I think that's again somewhere where I've kind of fallen down a little bit in this campaign. I'm not able to field as many armies as everyone else because my economy isn't as strong as it probably should be or could be with the amount of land that I've got. Maybe I expanded too quick or something, I'm not sure. Either way, something for me to look up later on. Anyway, I think that's it for everybody. Everybody's moved where they need to move, so we'll end the turn there. Alright then guys, so yeah, looks like a night battle is now being fought against Chengpu's forces. Now, it's not the strong army we just saw. This is one of the Duchy of Wei's different armies which has moved up to fight me. I wonder if that means that the one that had the stronger troops and the Juggernaut and so on, maybe they can't initiate a night battle, which is why they've not decided to fight me. But this looks a bit more even. I think defensively we should be able to manage this. They probably outnumber me in terms of cavalry. And we don't have masses of spears, all we've got is a couple of units of halberdiers. Oh, we do have the Defenders of the Empire here as well. For whatever reason though, they're not very well replenished at all, so they're not going to be much help this fight. We will do our best though. Cavalry will be a bit of an issue. But let's see what we can do anyway, so I'll see you guys on the battlefield for this one. Alright then guys, so defending in what is very, very open land. We have a very slight little hill here. Might be worth actually popping some troops on here. Maybe not, I don't know, we'll see. We do have like rocks and things like that, which I know cavalry will have a hard time getting around, so it might be worth keeping these rocks to my right hand flank. Deploying down this side, keeping these rocks to my right and my halberdiers maybe in and amongst these rocks or something to counter their cav. And then having my cav on the left hand flank to counter any cavalry that come down the left hand side. I feel like that might be a good plan actually. So I'll set the troops up and I'll be back with you shortly. Alright then guys, so yeah, a little bit of an unusual setup for me, trying to use these rocks to my advantage here, so I've popped my halberdiers G infantry just in between the rocks here. I can't imagine it'll mean their cavalry will charge straight into me or anything like that, but it will force them all the way around here, and we can manoeuvre quite quickly around, whereas it'll be a bit more difficult for them. They'll have to swing all the way around, whereas we can just move in. So it just makes my chances of surviving a cavalry charge a little bit better, I think, and it blocks off this right flank, you know, against their cav. They could charge straight head on into me, into my swordmen here, but then again, I can move my halberdiers around. Hopefully, unless they get screened by something else. I don't know, we'll see. I feel like this is probably the best option I've got. Other than that, then I've kept my other cavalry, 4 units of them, along with Ganding as well. I wasn't going to keep Ganding with them, actually. I was going to keep him with the other generals to kind of snipe their generals out altogether. But I feel like keeping him with the rest of the cav will give us a bit of a bonus when fighting those cavalry units, and because they outnumber me, I think that's kind of beneficial at this time. We've kept second line infantry just behind them as well. I really do hope these guys can negate their cavalry on the left-hand flank. We'll see. I've got my generals here in the middle, archers behind. I always forget the name of these guys. Sun Jian infantry. I've kept them at the back, so they're going to react to wherever they need to be. And then right at the back here, I've got the defenders of the Empire, heavy spear infantry, just at the back in case any cav do get round. They're a bit of a last line of defence. So with all that said, I'll start the battle as always. Be back with you when the action begins. Alright then guys, so they are pretty much upon us now. They've split their cav half and half. Probably a good thing for me because it means I should be able to win this engagement on the left hand flank, and hopefully these guys can hold off the left flank. Let's see how that goes. They're going to start shooting at me probably before I start shooting at them, so let's actually get my archers moved forward along with these guys as well, get them in the front line. My cav, I want my cav to do the charging here, so let's get them charging in. Try capture them all, and then we need to watch out for these guys on the right hand flank here as well. That means moving these guys up, I think, just to get them into the front line and bolstering. We'll move these guys across too. These units of cav here. Let's actually just bring one unit this way, spread these guys throughout the middle. Looks like we're doing a number on them here on this right hand flank, which is good. Sorry, on the left hand flank. Got people running, that's not good. The front line's kind of been smashed a little bit. I was worrying about that. Let's move these guys in to help out. It's simply the skirmishers, I think, which have done that to me. As soon as I can, though, I'm going to move my cavalry over to take out their skirmishers. Let's do that right now, actually. Their generals are not doing too well. I have forgotten about their cav on this side, though. Let's not do that. They're still knocking about, though, so I need to be careful. Looks like they're going to try and tie them up. If they can do that with one unit, that's fine. We still have another unit to watch out for their cav. More cavalry over here. Let's get them moving in. Having trouble selecting people. There we go. Keep going. Keep going, keep going. The generals have been split up as well, which I didn't want, but we have routed one of theirs, which is good. I want you guys to probably just start shooting at this unit of cav here. We are losing troops left, right and centre actually, which is not good. Let's actually pull these guys in over this way. And bring in these defenders of the Empire. They've actually charged me now, so let's get them straight into this fight here. Hopefully on this left-hand flank we can do a bit better. We do have our cav as well, who we can start utilising now that they're a bit more free. Pull you guys back, and please take out this general here. My spear's not doing great over here. I think one of them has already ran. Defenders of the Empire, the only ones left. We've killed a general, the other general's running. Got one left by the look of it. One of my generals is running, so that's not ideal. But now that their skirmishers are pretty much dealt with, let's get them involved in the fighting over here. Try and help out as best we can. You guys shoot there as well, please. Doesn't look like my halberdiers are able to come back. In fact, no, I actually want to keep these guys in this fight. That was a mistake. Right, my cav are on their way now as well, which is good. These axe infantry are holding their own. My skirmishers are doing what they need to do. Defenders of the Empire are holding, although they're not going to hold forever.
No, that won't do.
Let's get my arrows in that little blob there. They're unshielded units. Should be able to do it. Got another unit fleeing there. Let's have these guys charge in. And let's have Chengpu attack their general before we lose our cavalry units here. And let's pull these cavalry units back as well. cycle charging and all that will be very useful for me. I'm actually going to pull them round to attack these guys here to free up this side. The enemy cav has actually managed to get through and just demolished my archers there. That's fine. So let's just get them charged in. I think we're just about going to do it, but this has been costly for sure, and if I get attacked again before these guys have a chance to replenish, we're not going to do well. So let's just have everybody charging on these guys now. And then we'll go relieve this left-hand flank, although I think they're doing alright on their own. These defenders of the Empire are awesome. They've held their ground amazingly well, considering that they had basically no units at the beginning. Awesome, we've done it. Right then, I think with my cav, I am actually going to spend a bit of time chasing some of these guys down. I might not kill loads of them, but it's going to be beneficial in the long run, I think, given that these guys are a standing army. So I'll do that, and then I'll see you guys back on the campaign map. Awesome, so that's the first little battle won. I'm sure there'll be more on this eastern front. But let's see how it goes. Gain some money in heroism, that's always good. We don't need the money, I don't think. We do have an okay income. We're not in need of supplies because we're in friendly territory, so let's take the replenishment again. It's only 4%, but it's definitely better than nothing. Alright then, start of a new turn. Let's have a look. So Beijing has also been vassalized now by the Kingdom of Song. They're also one of our southern neighbours. Never mind. Duchy of Song has declared war on Duchy of Shuhan. That's probably a good thing for me. I think it'll split the Duchy of the Kingdom of Song's forces, direct their attention away from me maybe. I've got an event here, so supply reduction. You've marched your troops long and hard. Each village you've passed, you've made it the humble request for supplies that you might continue your march. At this settlement, however, you find nothing but apologies. They cannot afford to feed you, and so you must march on, hungry and increasingly discontent. So this means we've got a -10 military supply shortage for 5 turns. Okay, that's fine. Let's just quickly go through these. Ambushes. Discovered an ambush. Yeah, I saw that actually. I'll show you that in a second. Faction developments. Shangyang's got a new capital. Got a small city in Galing. Character developments. People of merit. Gained a composite bow. Zhang Shangzhu gained bright. Supply reduction, we saw that. And Sun Jian's gained rank 7. Awesome. Well, what can I say about this? On the east, it looks like all of Cao Cao's forces are here. I don't know if it is all of them, it just looks like it. There's 6 units, or 6 armies, should I say. 2 are not going to hold out against this, for sure. So we need to be very, very careful what I do here. I managed to beat back this army, so that's brilliant. That's good. We will do our best against them where we can. But they've brought in another couple of armies here. This is the one that was laying an ambush. I think they must have been in these trees here somewhere. I wonder if... well, I can't necessarily bring these forces down because they're covering the border against the Duchy or the Kingdom of Song. So I need to keep some sort of defence up here. Given that they've just gone to war with the Duchy of Shuhan, that's probably a good thing for me because it means he'll divert some forces that way, I would have thought. Doesn't stop the fact that he's got someone sitting in a fort just here though, which we could attack, to be fair. Let's just actually check on Sun Jian and what we can give him. Something good for battles. Line of sight's not bad, plus 50%. Increased charge speed and mighty knockback's not a bad one either, for him personally, I guess. Or he can ignore forest penalties for his own retinue. And avoid ambushes.
There is barely anybody here.
Okay, I think I might go with the intensity. Alright, now we need to kind of make a decision, but I think, guys, I'm going to leave that until the next episode. So, if you made it this far, as always, thank you very much for watching. Wish me luck on dealing with this eastern front here. But yeah, if you got any tips or feedback, as always, guys, leave those in the comments. you guys do leave some every now and again, and it is very, very, very helpful. So thank you. And if you like this kind of content and you want to see more, make sure you hit that subscribe button and the bell for notifications. So with that all said, I'll see you guys on the next one.